are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm your host, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul.
Together we are Robre. Welcome to NXT Review today, family. With the road for War Games has started, so we see the hype. We see now we kind of know what's going to be the War Games match. So pretty average show. I want to say a lot of people are saying that NXT already feels a little cringy. It feels flat. It feels boring. So let's talk about this show, Paul. What do you feel? What are you thinking about? Is there a future there?
There are certain things about this show, namely, a couple guys, you can count them on one hand, that are still badass, still carrying this show. And everybody else, either, they got turned into a joke, or they're being presented like a loser, or they're given stupid angles. And it's just, and same thing for the women, it doesn't feel good, besides one or two things that we're going to talk about. But no, NXT for me right now is at a state like AEW was maybe a year ago, or a year ago, where it was just so bad that you're like, how bad can this get? I need to see. But no, if NXT doesn't get better and they don't start improving things, listening to what you said, the fans say cringy and all that, this show's going to be, like Monday Night Raw. It's going to be
and it's going to, like you said, be going to, to maybe the network, like Peacock or all that. Supposedly there's a report that they're going to actually push it to be like TV14 to make it, more edgy, because they need to target that demographic that they're actually, they're walking away from. What I mean? Then the fans are not really engaged. They're not really invested into this. But we're going to be talking about everything that happened on this show. Thank you so much for the attention on the love for this video, because of AEW Full Gear, Full Short results. We cover absolutely everything on this show. And Hangman Page is the brand new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So thank you so very much for the love and the reception of this video. We're really excited. Please, watch it if you haven't, or also you can hear it on Spotify. We have the audio version right there too.
Oh, yeah, this show was great, for the most part. A couple stinkers here and there. Like we said, Miro should have won. That finish was kind of blah. A bunch of the matches we didn't really care for. Mostly all the tag matches, besides the tag team championship match. Every other tag or triple threat didn't care for. But a fantastic match to end the show. Great. I'm really interested to see where they go, because with the Young Bucks, looks like they didn't help Omega. All this stuff, is Hangman going to join them? Or are they going to join a Kevin Steen who might show up? Is Adam Cole going to leave the Young Bucks and then they're going to feud? There's so much. That's why we say AEW, it's not that they're perfect, but right now they're the number one show.
And they have more resources where to pick.
And you have more choice. WWE is giving us shows that are so bad, AEW looks number one by comparison.
Yes, exactly. So you're absolutely right. So let's talk about the first match that opened the show. Tony D'Angelo against Dexter Lumis. Pretty good showing here for Tony, because I guess they're really pushing that idea, that agenda that they want to push the newer guys. The other ones are just to put, the other guys over. They're just to be the transition right there. So what did you think? I mean, Dexter Lumis, his character completely flat right now. Wedding is not doing anything. They're not playing the wedding into the storyline, so I don't know what to think of it.
No, as I was watching this, I thought, okay, this is when, because it's WWE, I just knew there was going to be some kind of interference, some kind of bullshit. I thought, okay, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams will come out now, interfere in the match, maybe just be a DQ, Lumis wins by DQ or whatever, something. No, Tony D'Angelo wins, and I'm like, what was, this was the thing where it's you're presenting a guy, not like Lumis was main event or I was his biggest fan, because I haven't really been for a while, but he was still a name there, somebody from when NXT felt legit, and he just loses here. This match was really flat. I don't think anybody cared. And then we saw the beatdown and everything afterwards.
Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, yes.
Yeah. So I don't
know. They did that,
not a good way to start it off for me.
They play with they injured the hand of Dexter Lumis, so they had to be taken away. Johnny Gargano step in, like you said, beat down from Carmelo and Trick. I don't know, they tried to push these guys as top heels here on NXT, and I don't know at the expense of Gargano and Dexter Lumis, especially when the pair of doesn't look that strong to begin with. But in the end, Johnny Gargano comes out, they have a good exchange of words, just because the present is Carmelo and Gargano is kind of the past of NXT. Like he says, I've been here for 5 years, and every time that I've been in a main events, match, there always is a 5-star match, all of that. So they agree. Pete Dunne also interrupted, so you guess in the mix. So they're gonna have this match, next week. So it's gonna be for the North American Championship. What do you think, Paul? Are we gonna see a new champion or not at all?
And I mean, I like this with Pete Dunne. Because when he came out, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the future, blah blah blah. You're just washed up." He's like, "Washed up." He's like, "We're the same fucking age, dude." He's like, "I just have 10 years more experience than you. I've held, I've been badass. I've done this stuff. I've proven myself." So Pete Dunne is great here. Him and Gargano, they were going at it, like you said. Carmelo, all this. This is good. I like this. If you take storylines, if you take everything, before the bell and after the bell out of the equation, and you just focus on the match I think we're going to see next week, this should be fantastic. This should be good. Carmelo Hayes is good. We know how good Gargano and Pete Dunne are. So I am looking forward to this. But again, it's just the way you got us to a good match.
It's not. Yeah, no, I agree.
The only critique I'm going to give is we're probably going to see a lot of the shit I don't like is where a guy takes a big move. He's like, "I'm going to lay on the ground for 3 minutes."
For like 5 minutes. Yeah, instead of like just keep the action going. I agree with you. Despite that, I don't think Carmelo will lose the championship just based on like the fact that I want to keep pushing him and a win with those two guys, big names, NXT UK champion on Pete Dunne, former NXT champion on Johnny Gargano. So that's going to solidify this reign as NXT North American champion. So let's talk about this match that we had, like the members right here for like the jacket time, like something like it's like Kushida, also like King Hideo or Haikudeo, like his name is, and also like Odyssey Jones,
Ike Manjiro.
Ike Manjiro, there you go, Ike Manjiro. We have Kushida, we have Odyssey Jones, and also we have here like Diamond Mine. So this was, again, the feud continues here, but I'm not really invested into this just because, like I said, Kushida goes from being serious, taking like one of the best cruiserweights in the world, just to this act that is funny, and already Jiro is already injured. You can see right here like the around the knee. I don't know how you felt about this, but I didn't like it at all.
No, I mean, Kushida, like I said, you took a guy who, had charisma, connected with the crowd. I mean, he can still go back to that gimmick, and the crowd's still into him. But for me personally, this just makes him feel less legit. Odyssey Jones is great, and they won the match, the babyfaces did. And Odyssey Jones, I like him. He has a world of potential. I almost wish Roderick Strong, instead of losing weight, he would have gained weight, maybe gained some 20 pounds, put on a bunch of muscle, whatever. And then he could have had a competitive match, with Odyssey Jones, maybe not for the Cruiserweight title. Maybe, the Cruiserweight title is on Carmelo Hayes. Because I'm sure the three of those guys are under 205 pounds. So they could go for the Cruiserweight title.
Carmelo was supposed to be, yes.
And then, the North American Championship could be on like a Roderick Strong and him, and, that could be a match at the pay-per-view, War Games we see. See, that would be good. But instead, you got to put all these feuds together with goofy guys nobody cares about. And no, not for me.
It's not, like, I don't, especially because you took away the seriousness from Kushida. And just to put him like on, like him, like in the jacket time, or like, I'm like, really, like, the name is not even good. And Odyssey Jones, you just put him on every single thing just because, I mean, the guy has charisma. He's huge though, but again, he's feuding with guys that are not the same size.
And so the whole time while I'm watching this, and the trend continues through the show, and I'm sure for the next how many weeks, foreseeable future, is I just feel bad for Triple H.
Yeah,
just because it's like something you imagine you created something and then somebody took it from you and just
turned it turns out to be really bad. Exactly, like everything that made NXT different, that makes NXT stand out, is not happening anymore. So let's go with like Zion Quinn, and this is like he had a good like dancing session with Elektra Lopez last week. So he had a match with Andrew Chase. This was cool. And again, if he's still fighting in in like a college student like suit or whatever, I'm not interested in this. Just because you're like completely killing the guys, even like as a wrestler, and the gimmick is just terrible. I don't like this at all. And pretty much it's just like they keep teasing this like a romance or like something like I don't know if it is a rivalry with Elektra Lopez, but like Santos Escobar is back. And the one thing that I don't like from this poll is like Santos Escobar doesn't look like the leader anymore. Now Elektra seems like the leader of Legado del Fantasma and is killing the gimmick one more time.
Oh yeah, he's done, and they're gonna recruit him because they play up the whole sexual angle, like, oh, does she want to bang him? They want to bang each other, all this stuff, and nobody. Matt, remember when this guy debuted in the breakout tournament? And he had the mask on and he was babyface, and we're like, oh, legit, oh, this guy's badass, and he turned heel, and we're like, oh, this is cool. He has a stable, they're doing something with him. Now look, again, this is another thing, like the same group as Dexter Lumis. He had momentum. He had legitimacy. He was somebody. Okay, cool. Now done.
Absolutely done. Like you said, like I mean, it seems like it had something like potential in Elektra Lopez, But again, if she was supposed to be a member of Legado del Fantasma, not the leader, or like
Again, that just goes to Vince, and all the other guys, Bruce, Johnny Ace. What Triple H made, they're just like, we don't care. We're
gonna just change it. Yeah. We're not gonna like keep it. No, we're gonna change it. And Santos Escobar, like I said, completely is lost. Is completely lost in translation right now. He's losing the aura, the charisma, and it really sucks to be Santos Escobar right now. Hopefully they twist it around and they make him look legit one more time. Supposedly there were big plans for him. I don't see those coming to fruition anytime soon. So let's talk about this. Was just also awful. I don't like this. The poker showdown, Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes, and you have like a poker game in the middle of your show. I don't care for this. They have different rules.
I almost felt, I'm like, do I have the right channel on?
Yeah, do I have ESPN?
Like, am I watching the right? Yeah, is this like ESPN poker? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, I didn't like this. They kept like playing right there, and I'm not completely savvy on poker, but in the end, Cameron Grimes won everything, and Duke Hudson got mad, and then he was just like completely lost it, and he ends up attacking Cameron Grimes, and he took his hair off and a little bit of his beard. So I don't know. What do you think? Because like it's gonna be a feud. It's probably gonna be a match at War Games, but
you could have saved me so much time and effort. They love doing their backstage attacks, right? They love doing all that kind of shit. Yeah, or you could have even done it in the parking lot. Yeah, I know it's cold, but suck it up, right? Aren't they in Florida, or where are they? I'm sure it's warmer where they are.
Yeah, no, it is Florida. Yeah, so it is Florida.
Have some Cameron Grimes getting out of the car. He has two women. He's like, ooh, yeah, I beat Duke Hudson last week to the moon. And he fucking attacks him. Boom. Oh, you think you got the best of me? Cuts his beard, cuts his hair in the parking lot, kicks him, throws him into his car and leaves. Give me a 2-minute segment where he looks like a badass instead of looking like a loser, losing a poker game and crying and then cutting it. It's like, you took me so long to get to something that was decent, but you could have did it in a so much better way.
Anyway, yeah, it is. It's just terrible that they repackaged this guy and then they put him onto like poker and all of that, and it's like now he has to have that in the middle of the show. Absolutely god awful. No, thank you. Let's talk about the main event, because it's gonna be Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Remember, best friends, former tag team champions, and now their rivals. They're having this big feud. So Raquel says that she's gonna like completely shovel Dakota Kai away from WWE. So, we're good promo by her, and I don't know if she's going to move up to the main roster anytime soon, but, I don't think that, there's nothing else to do for her, for Raquel Gonzalez on NXT. So before we go to do that, Paul, let's go with Von Wagner. That is the bodyguard of Adam Pearce. That is going to be his pulls like double duty, and Kyle O'Reilly, and they got a match against like the brothers, I think their names, and, the Imperium.
Brenton and I forget the other one. Yeah, like the two, like they're almost kind of like FTR, like two like redneck guys. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they have a pretty decent match, and then they won. So like I don't think that like Wagner is gonna be out of NXT anytime soon. But like the main thing here is like we got to see Imperium looking from the outside. So they will never beat us. So there you go. So what do you think? I mean at least the tag team champions, they look better. It's a little better here.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, these guys, we don't want to be a broken record, but speaking, with their native language and the subtitles is just weird because we know they know English. But besides that, I'm excited to see this match. Wagner's not bad. We know that the other three guys, O'Reilly and these two are legit. So that should be good. If that's going to be O'Reilly's swan song, they're going to have a good match, lose, whatever. Then, I mean, hey, it's fine for him to go join Adam Cole and Bobby Fish because, he'll be better off there anyway. And Von Wagner, they're already getting him ready for the main roster. So,
I agree. I agree.
I'm fine with it, so, yeah.
Yeah, then we had another promo by MSK. Who wants to know about them? I'm good. The show is better without him, so thank you, MSK. We don't need him. These also should be taken off the show because I don't like this lashing out thing, Lash the Legend. She should be fighting. Isn't she a wrestler? I don't think she's like, a host show or a show host, and then she got like, this guy that like is feuding with LA Knight, Grewell or Gradson, something like that is his name. I don't care for this because this is like the type of segments that take me away from the show. This is like the thing that made me want to change the channel. I don't care for this, and lashing out like every single segment is just about this show that she has. I don't know what demographic are you trying to target here, but I'm not interested in this at all.
No, this is bad. I mean, his promo was all right, because LA Knight we got to mention he had a really good promo earlier
Yes.
on. How he said, it doesn't matter. He's 1.0, 2.0. He has all this money, the looks and everything, but that doesn't matter. He's still badass. He feels he's the uncrowned champion. So he could be a feud, with Ciampa, and maybe they even give him the belt. Who knows? Because that would be a heel that we've already seen Braun Breaker beat. So, maybe they're setting something up like that. But I still think the story's Breaker and Ciampa. But regardless, good promo by LA Knight. And, Grayson Waller kind of fired back and stuff. I mean, he's a good promo, but, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
And they don't have matches that you can get behind the guy. Like you said, Waller is the promo was decent, but he has it on what kind of show? You can cut the same promo out in the ring, and then you will feel more likely to be like, yes, I want to be there. I want to be like LA Knight. I don't know. It didn't feel convincing for me. And LA Knight deserves so much better. Like you said, like Tommaso Ciampa is a heel. LA Knight is a baby. I don't know, it's a baby face, but at least backwards. Ciampa is the baby face. LA Knight is the heel. Why don't they have a match at the War Games? That will be a great championship feud. I don't care. They don't want to do it. So let's go with Persia Perota. She had a match with, of course, Enhancement Talent, Gabby Stevens and Jenna Levi. And, pretty quick. And she's showing the power. I don't think they're going to keep the tag team, with, like, Indy Hartwell. So there's going to be, maybe she's going to push him as a singles competitor. But good show for her.
It happened because Indy Hartwell wanted to go to the hospital with Loomis and everything. Then after she wins this, and to be honest, I didn't even watch this match. It was going on. I was doing other stuff. I listened to it kind of, but, again, this is something where, when is this happening? 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30. It's like nobody cares about this. This will make you change the channel because you don't want to watch this. You're already trying to fight to not fall asleep, and then this boring shit's on. Robert Stone comes out, nobody cares. Next.
Exactly. No, like Robert Stone, especially without like Frankie and all of that. Why is he still? He doesn't have Aaliyah anymore. Very like he needs girls right away, but like he should be like he will heal and he will be successful. That will be at least a change of pace for like Robert Stone. So we'll see what happens, what they do with him. Let's talk about Tommaso Ciampa. This is probably like the best part of the show. Wouldn't you agree? He got a really good promo, and you see that the feud with Braun Breaker is still happening. He was talking about Carmelo Hayes, and he's like, oh, well, he just feels that, like, because he won a title, like, he's the best thing in the world, but, like, he's just a kid that, like, believe that, like, because you won a title, or you just won, belt, you can just, like, proclaim yourself as, like, the best thing on NXT 2.0, and then Braun Breaker came out, so, like, I think they're gonna have a rematch at War Games, or some type of stuff. And did you like the promo? It was pretty convincing. I like this because they're still giving you that idea that Braun Breaker is going to be the new NXT champion.
Yeah, because he pretty much tells Carmelo Hayes, like, because he proclaims himself as the A champion. He's like, shove that up your ass. So, and then what Grayson Waller said about like, oh, why do I get disrespected just because I didn't work high school gyms for nothing but a hot dog and a handshake? And Ciampa's like, well, what the hell's wrong with doing that? What's wrong with, doing the business you love? I'm in it for these reasons and all this stuff. And he said how he's so bad, how he's badass and he's the champ. And, when Ciampa talks, everybody listens. And he's like, I'll tell you what you can do with my hot dog. And then, then he was calling out other people. Like you said, Breaker came out. They had a good exchange of words. And I like this because right when Ciampa, insults him because he's like, hey, you and I, we're not both math experts, but, there's a 33 and a third chance that, you can't beat me and all this stuff. So obviously going to the Scott Steiner promo from TNA. So, that was awesome. I'm sure people love that. And, right when he kind of...
It's a great reference.
Yeah, right when he insults Breaker, he gets out of the ring, so Breaker can't, retaliate or anything. They have the the stare down, but, this was good. This is what should have ended the show. This would have been, okay, badass, this feels good. But instead, we got the main event that we saw.
Yeah, we got to go talk about the main event. We already tell you what was going to happen next week. So, let's gotta talk about Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. The feud is good, but again, we don't know what's going to happen with them. Especially, they don't feel that they belong on this type of NXT anymore. I don't know if you get that impression. I do get that. And I don't know, like I said, Raquel, I think is going to go main roster pretty soon, maybe after Survivor Series. I don't know yet. But the match quality pretty decent. Raquel is the more she keeps evolving, she gets better in the ring. She's not a ring general, but the matches that she has are very credible, are competitive. And Dakota Kai is the girl that never finishes in developing her character. She's a good heel, but nothing ever happens with her. So that's the one thing, unfortunately, for Dakota Kai. Like Raquel is about to use the shovel and everything, and then we get to see like the attack from like Toxic Attraction. All the members, Mandy Rose, Dolan, they start like attacking. Like I said Raquel, but then Cora Jade, like last week, makes the save. So they're still going with that agenda and everything. Then Zoe Starks, that she's injured, shows up. Then she kind of like says that like she's not by herself. Io Shirai comes out, so you see like a big brawl happening here. And in the end, you get to see like that Io, Raquel, and Cora Jade are able to like get rid of all 4 women. So 3 are able to take care of 4. And in the end, Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Cora Jade, they said War Games. So they still need one more person to be 4 against 4. We'll see what happens. But Paul, what do you think overall about this whole big main event segment?
I mean, the match was all right. The whole time I'm thinking, are you going to do a rematch? Is it going to be Raquel and Mandy too? Or are you going to do Dakota Kai? For me, I'm like, Dakota Kai needs to win because she just came back. She needs to have a big win coming back to solidify this character, which to me, Vince McMahon was like, who's an attractive, skinny girl you have down here? Kind of like Alexa Bliss. Well, Dakota Kai is on SmackDown, but we can bring her back. Yeah, do her. Then she'll be the new Alexa Bliss. Because that's all this is. It's just it's a tweaked Alexa Bliss, where it's a creepy, psychotic girl, where Alexa Bliss had the powers. Dakota Kai is kind of just like a serial killer or something, just like crazy, demented. But, they're setting it up for the War Games match. We got to see who wins. I mean, not who wins, but who's this? Because if Zoe Stark, I think her surgery, that was real. This wasn't like storyline, her injury, unless it was, and then she'll be the 4th woman. But I really don't know, and to be honest, I really don't care. I'm sorry. They don't need to be having a War Games match.
Especially with the people that you have there, you shouldn't even need it. Like it needs to like feel legit.
We've barely seen Cora Jade and these other women, mostly on Toxic Attraction. We barely see them wrestle normal matches. Now they're going to go into some hardcore match where they beat the shit out of each other, and it's like,
you go from like last year. Remember when we had Toni Storm, we have Shirai, Raquel, Amber Moon, you like Shotzi, you have all these girls that like, yeah, it's convincing that they're going to have a War Games match. This is going to turn out to be not good at all. And like you said, this is going to be the first War Games without the Undisputed Era. Mm-hmm. Because all the War Games before, they had the Undisputed Era. So it's going to be different. I don't know how engaged people are going to be with this. Are we going to feel engaged? No, but this is going to be the test for NXT. This War Games pay-per-view. Let's see what kind of attraction they bring. I know Toxic Attraction is coming, but we'll see what happens, family. So this pretty much, ended the show. So thank you so very much for being with us. Hope we serve you well. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have AEW Dynamite. A pretty interesting show because, like you said, it's going to be the first show for Hangman Page. We don't know what side is going to like. Bryan Danielson is supposed to be, number 1 contender. So is that the route that they're going to go? Adam Cole with like the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega is supposed to be taking time off. So a lot of things that are going to still be developing. Maybe Bray Wyatt, they don't know yet. So a lot of things can happen. So, we'll be, just telling you everything that is going on in this show. So be with us. Don't forget also to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and give the video a like so more people are exposed to the original Rope Break and where else, Paul.
And guys, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and we're also on Spotify. Follow us there. Our main home right here on YouTube, the #1 podcast, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...